You don't want to stand there. See the wave of the floor, the concrete? I heard it crack. That's very bad.
Things could fall on you. I've had giant pieces of concrete swaying in the wind above my head, and you've got to watch out for things that could kill you.
It's very impressive to see what humanity can create and the power that we've been able to harness. It's very awe-inspiring.
I like to see the decay. I mean, that's the whole premise behind what I shoot, is derelict structures.
I'm bringing an interpretation of what I see, and that's what artists do.
Okay, so our objective today is to make our way into the industrial heart of Western Germany in a town called Duisburg. We've got on tap a large industrial facility that used to do the sintering process. I think you know a little bit about that, Steve?
I know the basics of it. Essentially, it's the process of making large solid objects out of powder. It's ideal for making items such as ball bearings. Essentially, metallic powder would have been placed into a mold, and then an electrical current would be applied. This would fuse it together, forming the solid object. I'm drawn to industrial spaces because I always remember being very curious about them. When I was younger, there was a power plant on the distance, and a number of years later it was closed down and sat abandoned for years, and I jumped at the opportunity to go in, and all of my questions were suddenly answered. And I find that that same curiosity persists with almost every large industrial site I see.
We don't know a whole lot about this facility, do we? We don't know anything about if there's any security, fences. We don't even know when it was built.
No, we don't, other than it's been closed for quite a while and it's been partially demolished.
Sinteranlage, we don't know a whole lot about. It was built in about the 50s, maybe, empty in about the 70s, and they would make metal things, or I believe ceramics are made through the sintering process.
There's a few different ways we can approach it.
Good tree cover.
Very good tree cover. So right now it's basically just a spot on a map. We're going to have to sort of figure out what it is, what it was when we get there. In my photography, I really look for volume of space and lines and geometry. And for that, industrial spaces just can't be beat. They have the largest interior volumes typically, and they are all about efficient lines and efficient spaces and pure geometry. You don't find that usually in institutional buildings, and you certainly don't find that in residential buildings.
So what can we expect photographically in a place like this?
Typically, a large industrial facility like this will have some interesting infrastructure features, like a boiler room, a power plant. Probably had a lot of employees at one time, so there could be an infirmary and probably some big locker rooms as well. I can't wait to get in there.
So a place like this could have toxicity, crumbling floors, some sort of danger that we have to be aware of when we're going through here.
You know, the biggest hazard is me. I'm a big clumsy spaz, and I tend to trip over myself more than anything. So I guess the things I could run into, though, are catwalks that may not have been tested for a number of years. It's a long way down in a lot of those places. So while it's an interesting thing to do, you don't want to die doing it. It could be hairy.
Looking at the four of you, I don't think it will be. You're getting more and more industrial.
Are we close at this point?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. A lot of industry just sort of looks the same.
Is this art? Yeah, it's art. Any sort of interpretation visually conveyed is art. You know, fine art, visual art. Yeah, it's most definitely art. It's not just documentation, it's painting with a camera.
Okay, so it looks like we've got a 6-foot fence with barbed wire on top.
What's the sign say?
I don't speak German. I'm sure it says welcome.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe there's already a path in.
Every fence has a hole.
Let's keep looking. You find something, Steve?
Like I said, Every fence has a hole.
Awesome, let's go. Here. All right. So where to? It's a great stack. Oh wow, this is great. I know it was big, but I didn't think it was gonna be this big. All right, let's not linger here. Let's get inside fast. Well, let's start in here. He's getting the shade.
Personally, I like places that are really decrepit. The more rusty and the more falling apart they are, the more I enjoy them. I mean, I've seen places where you can get in 6 months after they shut down, and I'm not a big fan of that because to me it's too sterile. It's, why don't you just go see a place while it's running? And when they're not, you know, they just have to be aged, you know, like a wine or a cheese. But you need that certain period of time for things to get to the point where, you know, they can be appreciated.
You know, a lot of people would look at a place like this and just see a big rotting pile of junk and a big open building and wonder, why would you travel all the way to Europe to shoot a place like this? But you know, this is gold to me. You've got so much going on here. This is a relic of industry, and it's just sitting here slowly dying, and yet there's so much beauty in here. You know, it's just, this is exactly what I love, and this is what I shoot more than anything else, is big industry. That's my thing. I'm a real graphic person by nature, so I really look for a graphic looking scene that is pleasing to me anyway, whether it's symmetrical or asymmetrical or heavily detailed. I'm looking for something that's going to catch your eye just like it would if it was on a billboard or in an ad. And if there's an emotional response from the viewer, that's the absolute payoff.
This place is definitely bigger than I was expecting. The ground floor doesn't look like it has much left. So I think we can get onto most of the upper floors. We just need to be able to find a staircase that hasn't been cut.
It's funny when you go out in a group, be it 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, into these places, everyone sees everything their own way, takes their own pictures, and so you still get your own personal experience out of it. And you can see the personal aspect of it when you look at the 5 different sets of pictures. I mean, 5 different guys go to the exact same place and come away with 5 completely different sets of photos.
This place is enormous.
So it looks like we're in the power plant, and I'm guessing these are the rectifiers. Great room, you know, it's in good shape and slowly rotting away here. I'm just getting a shot of this row of machinery here with the light hitting it. It's quite nice.
I'm staring into the severed end of the large pipe that led into the original building that we started in. It's one of the largest sections of pipe I've ever seen. It's easily 10 feet across, and it's about a third filled with a powdery substance that I'm not sure what it is. As you can see, it's been severed in the decommissioning of this plant, along with about a third of the floor. We're standing, I'd say, about 60 feet up with not much more than a simple concrete floor below us.
One of the most interesting things about this hobby is trying to figure out exactly what purpose a lot of the machinery that we encounter served. Given the location, the size and shape of this device here, I would speculate that it's a blower for transporting the sintering powder from one part of the facility to another. I absolutely love the scale of rooms and machines like this. It's one of my favorite things about this. For a while I had difficulty seeing myself as an artist. I considered this exploration, industrial archaeology, curiosity, and I photographed these places to provide a record for myself and to show people what I was seeing. But as I developed my ability to photograph these sites, I guess I have to say now that it is art. We display it in galleries, we sell it to collectors. Obviously someone considers it art.
I'm gonna keep going up these stairs to see how far I can get. So we'll go up these stairs, cut across, go up one more flight, and I think we're there. This place is incredible. Yeah, so at this point, we're about 7 stories up, but 7 industrial stories where each one is about 20 feet high. As part of the decommissioning of this plant, they went through and cut out a good chunk of the stairs and a good chunk of the floors and a good chunk of the walkways. So getting through this place vertically is a bit of a maze. You have to crisscross around floors and climb partially demolished stairs. It is a long way down, and you can see the whole way.
A lot of broken machinery and bits and pieces of whatever was sitting up here before, but just have to go down there and have a look, see what we can see. There's a whole other level down there to explore.
Oh, this is dark. Don't know if we have any images around here, but oh, and watch out for the big holes. Wow.
Big basement. What have we found?
I have no idea what this is.
What is that?
No, superficially it resembles obsidian. It's not made of silica though. It seems to be plastic. It's much more brittle. Be a byproduct of the process.
I saw pieces like that upstairs, smaller ones.
Yeah, there are quite a few down here.
Could that be some sort of ceramic?
It's possible. It's very brittle. So I don't think it's a finished product. I think it's some sort of byproduct.
Even the biggest industrial spaces are slowly being reclaimed by nature. You've got grass growing, you've got trees starting to grow on these giant industrial towers.
Watch out for this. Whoa. There's a hole full of sludge you wouldn't want to fall into. It's awfully messy.
Sinteranlage is fantastic. This place is exactly what I tend to look for, a really large, open industrial space that really gives shape and form to industrial process. It has a lot of machinery left, though where areas are missing machinery, it gives evidence still to its past use. It's fantastic.
These aren't places that you get to see the insides of on a regular basis. And the contents of these buildings are so impressive, the scale's so grand, the power is so strong. Going in and seeing them is often just awe-inspiring.
The vastness of this space definitely belies the fact that this was once filled with equipment and people and just machinery and sound and smells that are completely absent today. And what's missing is almost as amazing as what's left behind. You have two Krupp R-Delt 10,000 kilogram capacity overhead cranes. You've got the remainder of what looks like kilns, possibly for where they would fire the sintering powder. And just the vast amount of steel and metal and concrete, and there's nothing else really that gives evidence of the process. There's some control rooms in the back, there's a few pipes here and there, but all evidence of past use is almost completely gone. It's really too bad.
I'm walking over to the adjacent building. It's, what, 8 stories high, and from all reports there's probably not much in there, but we'll check it out and see. Everyone seems to have gone ahead without me. It's a bit eerie being in a building by yourself, you know? Whoa, this place is huge. That conveyor is just a monster. Man, watch the hole. You know, when you're looking up at buildings like this and distracted, this is what you have to watch out for. A big open hole, what, 20, 30 feet, could be dangerous.
Yeah, you think you can get that off my foot?
Yeah, I'll do what I can here.
One of the dangers, I guess. I'm lucky it didn't go right through my foot. You guys would be carrying me out of here.
Oh. That's metal grade flooring. You don't want to walk across it like I just did. I'd go around that I-beam and stay on the concrete section. One of the challenges when everything is covered in the same color of grime and dirt and gunk is that you can't tell where the solid floors are necessarily from the unstable floors. And that's when having a tripod and just listening really comes in handy. This is a good example of look before you leap. The staircase and the door has been removed, and it's about a 30-foot drop clear out the end of this doorway. If you're not careful, you could take quite a fall. Oh, don't like that.
When you're exploring like this, lunch or a snack consists of whatever is at the hotel buffet for breakfast. So we got crackers, which look like a lovely multigrain with all sorts of things in it. And what's really going to get us going today is this lovely little sausage I got from the breakfast bar. I have no idea how to open this though. And that is some good exploding meat. Yeah, I really shouldn't eat that off my glove. But it's so good, I can't help it. Good stuff.
I don't usually take my camera out and start taking pictures until I get to a spot where I find it to be very interesting and photo worthy. I try to be more selective in what I document and what I take pictures of. I'm not there to capture everything. In the background, you can hear a freight train passing by. It's filled with raw material. From the looks of it, possibly iron ore. And you have to wonder, when this place was in full operation, how many times a day that train went by and what the roar was like in the nearby facility. When we were in Central Thermique with Jean-Claude, he mentioned the monster, the roaring sound of the steel mills. This is the closest I've come to actually understanding what he was talking about. Look at all that existing industry out there that still appears to be thriving. It's just great to see it.